Okay, we all need the sun, but there are sun has two rays there that really can penetrate into our skin and cause damages. So there are sun UVB ray, which is a little bit shorter. They usually hit the outer layer of our skin, like epidermis, and it can cause damages there. And most of the time, it's a burn that you can see. And when you have repeated exposure to that, a lot of times, sometimes that can cause the cancer, but the cancer, what it causes usually is more the common kind, that is not the bad kind of skin cancer. But when you have, like if you have a brief intense exposure, such as a blistering sunburn, that's a lot of times, sometimes that would cause like the melanoma kind of skin cancer. So sun protection is absolutely important for us, because it would cause the skin cancer, because the sun ray can go into our skin and change the DNA there. Okay, so that's about UVB ray. Okay, but there are also a UVA ray, and UVA ray is a little bit longer, and they will go into deeper layer of our body, and it will damage the collagen. It will go into the layer what we call the dermis, and it will damage the collagen, the elastin. So it can also cause skin cancer, but it also cause wrinkles and discolorations, aging concerns. So those two rays that we do want to protect. So protect it from the cancer, and also protect it from aging. Okay, none of us wanted to look old. We all want to look young, right? So that's basically about the sun ray there. Okay. And I did mention that very important is try not to go out between 10 to 4. And if you do go out, please do wear some protective gear, because that's the most important thing. Okay, and then wear sunblock. Okay, so now I want to talk about sunblock. So do you know SPF actually is only a measurement that what is to protect you from the UVB ray. Okay, so if you usually burn after, say you usually burn after 20 minutes and into the sun, SPF 15 will protect you about 5 hours, meaning 20 minutes times 15 is 300 minutes, and that becomes 5 hours. Okay, but it also it varies a little bit, depends on the duration, the where you are, how what time of the year, but that's SPF designate for that. Protect you from the UVB, and usually you can see it, so you know you got burned. And UVV, you don't get burned, you don't see it, but the damage is there. And also SPF, people have an understanding, they think that FPF 30 is the twice as protective as SPF 15. It does not go with that increment. Okay, so say SPF usually 15 usually block about 93% of the UVB. Now SPF 30 block 97% of the UVB. SPF 50 block 98%, and SPF 100 blocks maybe 100%. So it's not necessarily higher is better, and sometimes higher number is not necessarily better, which I'm going to go into the next session and talk about it. So I talk about two UV rays, UVB and UVA. We need to protect from. But when you look on that, it only say SPF. Then it's only protect from the UVB. So you want to look for the active ingredient to find the ingredient that is going to protect you from the UVA. Okay, and I did have a posting talking about two kind of sunscreen. There's a chemical sunscreen which absorb into our body. They have research shows that it actually show up in breast milk in your body there. So although FDA did not ban them, then you really do want to avoid the chemical sunscreen. They are just not good for us. We don't want anything we can absorb into our body. They also are bad for the coral, for the ocean, for the environment. Okay, so you want to look for physical sunscreen, which is zinc oxide or titanic dioxide. Now, FDA classify sunscreen as a drug, so they usually have a drug label on the product, and they will list with the active ingredient. So you look for the active ingredient. You want to look for zinc oxide or titanic dioxide because they are physical sunscreen. They sit on the top of their skin and does not absorb into the body, and it reflects the light, and that's how it protects us from the UVA ray there. And also the inactive ingredient, you also want to look for the inactive ingredient. So the active ingredient is the ingredient that give you the protection. Now, the inactive ingredient are the ingredient that kind of give the moisture, give the smell, different things. So you also want to look on the inactive ingredient, make sure it does not have like paraben, does not have like fragrance, does not have sodium lauryl sulfate. Those are just not good for your skin. Okay. Now, when it comes to zinc oxide and titanic dioxide, a lot of times people say, well, I don't like zinc oxide because I see those lifeguard using it and it's white. Yes, it is. Okay. But there's a technology called nanotechnology actually can make them smaller particle, and when they are smaller, they actually become more transparent on your skin. Okay, now, but there's complicated here, so I'm just going to kind of continue to explain, so hopefully it will be clear. Okay, so the size of the mineral particle actually varies for the protection. So this is what it is. Okay, the smaller the mineral particle, when you use the nanotechnology, the better the SPF protection. So that means it will protect you better from the UVB. But the larger the particle, the better the protection for the UVA. Okay, so you want to make them a little bit smaller so they don't look so white. They also will be good for the SPF. But when you make too smaller, it loses its ability to protect from the UVA. So there's a balance by the manufacturer that they really need to balance that. Sometimes you may see that they say you want to have a balance between UVB and UVA, and that's what it meant. You have to strike balance because you want to have your sunscreen that both protects you from the UVB and the UVA. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, and also in United States, FDA in the past decades had made multiple proposals to strengthen the UVA protection in the sunscreen, but they have not had a law passed yet. And last year, they actually proposed the change to require greater UVA protection in the sunscreen, but it was postponed. So, so we have a lot of inferior product on the store, although their evidence shows that a lot of ingredients absorbed into the blood and are not good for our body. It is still out there. It's totally lack of safety testing there. Okay. And also water resistant actually is regulated by FDA. So it shows that the product can undergo 40 to 80 minutes in the pool, and then they would certify it as a water resistant. So if you look on a product and they were clearly labeled. So if they label it's water resistant, then it's water resistant. But if they did not label that, then it's not water resistant.